Hey there, coming to those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. This is part two of the false light. I wanted to speak on when you see that the light has swallowed up the dark. This light that has overpowered the dark is the false light. The apocalypse has really already taken place. It was about something that happened within carbon based beings. And the world within has been in ruins ever since. It was covered up by the light, or the capability of the light to manifest the carbon beings into the world of the light, the falsehood, the deception. So now, hey, yes, Wiseman, let me fix my whatchamacallit. So now that we are, I'm gonna do the live chat. Now that we are within the light, the deception world of lies and luxury, we don't recognize it as such, and we can be tricked and we can be fooled and into accepting it and enjoying it and contracting continuously over and over again within the light. We can even entrap ourselves within this light. But there's a few of us who have decided to not contract with the light, not accept what the light has to deceive us with, and recognize that everything around us is called the illusion and has no basis in reality. A few people have decided uh, to understand the whole concept of the light being the world of deception and the dark being the world of reality for us. Um, One thing I realized was my dream had more for me than what I thought at first. Sometimes we look at things and we observe it for what we think it is, but it has many facets about it. It has many aspects about it, more aspects, more different things about it than what we think. We only focus on one thing sometimes, and being focused on that one thing can make you think with in that one track mind. When we have to have our mind exploring different avenues, not just one track mind, one focus on one thing, but on many things. So when you look at something, you have more than one way of looking at it. So when you have these dreams, you have to sit in it and examine them and see more than one way of looking at it. Now, my dream that I had, I'm able to see many things within it. And one thing I didn't realize was the ruins that I saw in it was my world and the reality of what happened to my world. You see what I'm saying? Because, like they say, the kingdom's within us. So, being that the kingdom is within us, we have to recognize the difference between the world outside of us and the so that we have to connect with our higher self. We have to take the falsehood. I know it's buffering. Yeah. We have needed to be rebuilt. So my soul was had that false light, the luxury that it had promised from the light within this false light world. So now that I can see that, it's my job to make sure that I let go of whatever I need to let go of in this world and move further, further, further into the dark. And I'm bringing my soul back to its shimmering shine and to strengthen the mind with nothing but truth. That's the way you do it. You do the opposite of this world says the thing. You can't go along with the program of this world, because when you do, you neglecting the world, the kingdom to come within you, because the kingdom from you. And outside of us is nothing but damnation. Of the inside of me and focusing so much on worshiping everything on the outside of me. Like Bobby Hemmett said, I was making my extension of me, my career was becoming the extension of me. Without it, I felt like I was nothing, because I knew not and I understood not. And when you don't know yourself, my people perish from the world of light, false light. So here we are in this false light, enjoying a lie, because it's a lie when something doesn't last forever. That's why they say never say forever, or because nothing here lasts like that. Nothing here lasts forever. So you can make the choice, people. We make our choice. We have the free will to make the decisions. Do we want eternity? Want the short 5 minute, 30 time constraints placed upon things? You got to think, why is everything so quick, quick, quick? Why do we have to be fast? Why do we have to speed around? Why do we have to, hurry up? Because there's a certain group of people who are on a time frame, and we have we have endless time, so we're not trying to rush around life. We're not trying to rush around, well, we're not trying to rush around death, because for us, we know that death is a short period of time. We know that, because the opposite of death is life, and life is death. So we know that life is death. When you die, you really given life. So, and nature shows us that in many, many ways, because we can just see it in nature a lot of times. But when we die, we live. But when we are dead and we are living with a certain deception, with the white light deception, I'm going to call it white light deception. When we live with the white light deception in our minds, we create that, because we are creators. So when we continue that in our minds, and we transcend away, and we carry that with us in our minds, we make that world for ourselves. So you can choose to go to the white light and be deceived like we are now. Or you can choose to go to the dark and know the truth, and live in reality. That's pretty much what I'm saying. And the dark is within the carbon beams, because it's a light that's hidden. Kind of like in the Black Panther, when you couldn't see the world, the other world. In Africa, there was a land that you couldn't see, because it was covered up by something. It was hidden well. That's the same with our world. Our world is hidden, so we make the choices. We can bring forth our world, or we can uh, love the false life world, the false world, and think that it's very, very much real for ourselves, and be deceived and be lied to, and be, beside people every day that lying to you in your face. Or you can choose to think opposite of them. You can choose to make them an illusion through the mind. Because when you are given validity, we are really, so we have to, like I said, think opposite of this world. Carbon being